What's up, Internet? Well, day one of harvest is officially in the books. Technically, it's day two. I was so tired after the first day of harvest that I just went straight to bed. I didn't have time to record this video, but this is exactly where we left off. I'd basically just finished Katava and ran through the little epilogue to unlock our map device. I haven't even taken the time to fix my resist. I just immediately logged off and went to bed. I will say this is by far the slowest I've leveled a character in a long time. I think we took, almost 15 hours to get to 69, which is absurd. But the reason for that is because I was so enamored with this new league mechanic that I was spending all kinds of time in here thinking about how to get this set up and working and thinking about my plots and stuff. It's kind of a mess right now because I was figuring it all out as I went. But now I have sort of the general idea, and I'll be making some changes to my layout and stuff. This mechanic, though, is, in my opinion, exactly what we needed right now. After a league like Delirium, which was super fast and required no thought, right? It was all about speed, just monsters and more monsters, the same thing, but faster. And the only time you ever stopped to think maybe was to think about your build and your cluster jewels. With this, it seems like the perfect foil to that kind of gameplay where you might be doing a map, you come across a seed cache, you come in here, and immediately you kind of have to think about where you're going to plant them, if you have enough life force, if you need to build more storage. I was having a lot of fun. So much so that I spent like an extra 6 hours leveling at least, just so that I could plant as much stuff as I could. And it paid out pretty well, actually. I was able to 5-link my own soul mantle just with harvest crafting and color it. It took 3 clicks of one harvest craft menu to do this, compared to, me clasping my hands and praying that orbs of fusing were going to help. We got a bunch of stuff along the leveling route for some life pieces and resist pieces. I didn't have great luck trying to craft weapons, but RNG is still going to RNG every once in a while, right? As far as the mechanic itself goes, like if you're still kind of confused about it, this layout is not particularly efficient because what I was doing when I was first learning was I was planting my tier 2s in the same sort of area that I was planting my tier 1s. And so what that meant is I would need to swap out my collector out of the area to put a dispenser in the middle so I could dispense the whole area and then link it up. But then when it was done, I would have to take the dispenser on the next cycle, pull it out, and put the collector back and link it back up to my storage so I could harvest it. Instead, what we'll probably be doing now that I've actually had some sleep and time to think about this mechanic is we'll dedicate this whole area down here to purely tier 1 seeds. So the only links we're going to worry about are collectors into pylons into storage. The goal here is going to be to dedicate more plot specifically to tier 2, and then eventually up here maybe a plot dedicated specifically to tier 3. And when we do that, we should only need like 1-ish plot, I think. 1 square for a tier 2 field per color. And then we'll be routing this stuff from pylons into pairs of dispensers that cover. So let's say this was my yellow tier 2 field that I'm going to put up here. There won't be a dispenser in the middle, there'll be a collector, right? So that I can harvest it when it's ready. So we know that it's random whether a tier 2 seed like this guy here requires wild life force to grow. But it might have required primal too. And I'm going to want to be able to grow both of those types of seeds in the same yellow field. So we'll put 2 dispensers down per color. We'll have 1 dispenser like where this pylon would be. And let's say this was purple and it would cover these 2 rows. And then we would sacrifice 1 seed slot up here and put the other purple dispenser here, and that would cover these 3. And then we would just need to link both of those to our purple pylon line that was coming down here from the south. And we do the same thing on the other two sides, right? These two sides would be dedicated to purple. These two sides would be dedicated to say, the blue dispensers. So one would be on the outside covering 2 rows. One would consume 1 seed slot to cover the other 3 rows. And we link that to the blue chain. The goal here is going to be essentially to get the entire network linked together at once, so you don't actually have to unlink things to perform any farming. That way, when you're ready to harvest this, right, this is our collector, and we kill the monsters and we do our crafts we've got left over, when we condense, it'll still be connected back into our full storage network down here. And we can even add storage anywhere else as long as we can get, you know, an additional pylon over into the storage chain. Just thinking about this stuff has been so much fun. I don't know. I feel like the game needed something like this after Delirium, which was like a super stressful, fast league. Just come in here and chill and like figure out how to plot our little farm on a grid and link it together and stuff. And the crafts really do seem worth it. I've seen some people already having crazy luck. And I'm really looking forward to getting some of these high-end crafts. And the interactions with the mapping system, I don't know, it looks awesome to me. It was also probably the smoothest launch we've had to date, other than a few graphical issues and a couple of things that they fixed pretty quickly. Even the trade site worked, which is kind of a miracle, given the past like at least year of leagues that's not been the case. Build-wise, you know, we didn't have any issues. I leveled exactly how I leveled, I leveled exactly how I wrote the leveling guide, basically, with Holy Flame Totem and Wave of Conviction, which I turned into a totem as well around Act 4 when we got access to multi-totem. And we had no issues. I don't think I actually made the swap into Freezing Pulse totems until Act 9, just because it's a little bit hard to get people to actually trade on that first day. Usually they're just too busy trying to progress, or they get too many whispers on items that people actually want. So we made the swap around Act 9, and yeah, and everything was fine. So now I'm going to go fix these resistances. I'm going to probably spend a bunch of time reorganizing this southern area, like I mentioned, to make this all Tier 1 dedicated life force harvesting, basically, and then move my Tier 2 stuff up here. And then it's just going to be getting into maps. I just wanted to have sort of a record of my first day progress and this almost comical leveling time. Because I've never been happier, I think, to get to maps this slow. It's like exactly what I needed after Delirium. Plus, Delirium's still there, right? You start hitting Delirium mirrors now in Act 5, and when you need that kind of gameplay, it's going to be there. So I'm really looking forward to these new bosses and stuff. Speaking of streaming, I'm about to go do that, so I'm going to cut this video here. If you want to come watch or ask questions, you can find me at twitch.tv/WallachTV. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.